Hey everybody, John Felt here, and this is the BWO Weather Weekly Weather Briefing. Hey, lots of hot weather for the next several days, but I do have some good news ahead with some nice weather down the road. Let's get started in today's briefing. Well, any weather hazards this week? I wanted to start out by pointing out that we're going to have some hot weather advisories. That hot weather is going to spread across the Midwest and into the Southeast. And we're going to have some severe storms in the upper Midwest as well. I wanted to sort of show you the track of Beryl. If you remember, that Beryl developed way out here and it intensified into a Category 5 hurricane. These red dots moved in by Houston, and we still have over 1.5 million power outages in the Houston area. And there's the track of the heaviest rain from Beryl. Now let's go look at rain. And you can see it came in with the heaviest rain here, almost a foot of rain around Houston. And then as it moved up to the north, moved up pretty close to St. Louis and into the eastern Corn Belt and into parts of Michigan. So that shows how that tropical moisture, heavy rain, can be transported well inland from a tropical system. So we might see more of those later this season as that water is so warm out in the main development region of the tropics. Now last week, due to some of the rain and some of the cooler air, you can see the temperature departures over most of the middle part of the nation were near or below normal. That's the green. The real extreme heat, wildfires as well, over the western U.S., especially Washington, Oregon, and California. Warmest temperatures of the week, some of those blues and lighter greens were only in the 80s. Can't beat that too much in early to mid-July. But we do have moisture in the area now. Some of the soils are pretty wet, and I put something out a while back showing how that can impact the low-level environment with dew points being higher. But we do have a muggy air mass, and at least for the next several days, we're going to have some hot weather, so it's going to be pretty oppressive outside. So a lot of water running down the Mississippi. We had all that rain that, remember that, originated in this area in here, and then we got repeated rains, and that's all coming down. It's a very broad, long crest, but it is beginning to come down. I don't see any additional significant rain to the north, so once it starts falling, it should start to fall pretty quickly. Okay, so as far as the weather pattern goes, this ridge of high pressure, this dome of high pressure, this heat dome is going to dominate the weather. So wherever that goes, that's where the hot weather will go. And by the middle of the week, we get an amplified flow, a buckle in the jet stream. We've seen this in the past, and when we get that, we get a reprieve, and we get some cooler weather over the central, the Midwest, Great Lakes region, and that's what's expected. So we're going to go through some hot weather, but that looks like that is going to help things out. And this is a week from Sunday, and we still have a bit of a dip in the jet stream over the central part of the U.S. and the Midwest Great Lakes regions. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, some really hot weather, but you can almost even see here by the middle of the week, this cooler air moving in. And look at the 18th through the 23rd. Some great weather here in the central U.S. Temperatures 5 to 15 degrees below normal, and that'll continue into the end of the month of July. So put up with the heat because it looks like we're going to have some nicer weather ahead. So speaking of heat, let's take a look at that. This is the heat risk combination of heat and humidity, left to right, top to bottom, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And you can almost see how that area of high heat and humidity moves across the Midwest this weekend. This is Sunday into Monday, and then by Tuesday it starts to push into the mid-Atlantic and the southeast U.S. Now, a word about the heat. This is what we expect tomorrow. Lots of areas well into the 90s to 100. I talked about the heat risk. But look at 1954 on the 13th. Look how widespread 100 degrees was. Or look at the month of July in 1936. So what we have here, and this was the entire month average temperature. That's pretty amazing. But it shows that we do have, in the historical data record, we have years that are unusually hot. So having said that, the climate shift index looks through that historical data record, and it says what we're getting is this would this likely fall within that record or not? And it's showing these areas of red, or indicating, especially the darker red, that cannot be explained through that historical data record. Thus, the assumption is that is due to a warming climate. Okay, so that's enough about temperature. Let's look at tropics. Nothing in the tropics. And one quick note on that, it's not unusual to get an early season system like Beryl and then wait a long time before the next one. So we'll see. So as far as rain goes this week, I talked about temperature. I don't see anything all that significant. There are going to be some strong to severe storms in the upper Midwest, in this region here. But overall, no widespread rain, more scattered showers and thunderstorms. And if we look at week 2 here, the cooler air lingers and dry over the upper Midwest, and that's important because that's going to let those rivers come down. So again, as far as the threats assessment goes, we're going to have these heat advisories for the next several days, and that heat gradually pushes off to the southeast, and that's our chance for severe storms. So I think I've covered it pretty good, but 2 or 3 days of really hot and humid weather, and then some nice weather that could very much last through most of the remainder of July. Hey, have a great rest of the weekend and next week. Take care.